hope you're well. Welcome to my channel. So this is where I talk about twin flame process, twin flame consciousness. So I'm going to do a reading for this week. Today is the 23rd of January, Tuesday 23rd January 2024. Before I start, just to say if anybody wants to get a reading, and I also do Skype readings, which is kind of in person but on the internet. They can contact me through my website, and the link is in the description box below. And then before the reading, I'm going to just answer a question that came up on the last reading, which is quite an interesting question. Thank you for that. So the question is, what does it mean when you have the feeling that you are no longer interested in this twin flame story? ? So the answer to that is quite interesting, actually, because to just look at the question again, what does it mean when you have the feeling that you are no longer interested? And then we could say this could apply to anything, right? So when you have the feeling that you're no longer interested in something, it means that you have let go. It means that you've let go of something. But particularly with twin flame process, you are in the process of letting go. So the twin flame, there's lots of things people already know about the twin flame process, which is the rise and fall cycle. They call it the purge. Some people call it the purge. The dismantling of the dark energy, the transformation of the ego, the rising into higher consciousness. Ego being lower consciousness, higher consciousness being higher consciousness. It's a transformation of consciousness, really, which is why we call it here twin flame consciousness, because twin flame process is a transformation of lower consciousness into higher consciousness. It's the transformation of the ego, and that means you let go of your ego. So what it means to let go of the ego is that you stop being interested in things, because ego is mind, and mind is thinking, and thinking is interest. So, and you can't completely dismantle the ego when you're in physical form, because you can't completely get rid of your mind, and nor should you, because you have it here in physical form so that you can visualize with it and create your life, right? And the process of moving forward can then become sublime. So the process, the twin flame process, the rise into higher consciousness means that you still are able to think, but your thinking is clear. It is clarity. It is higher. It is more fertile. It's more lucid. It's more dreamlike. It's more imagination. It's more creativity. It's higher, so it feels better. It's like all the bells ringing. It's like angels singing on high. You know, your thinking mechanism is always positive and good by the end of the process. So we're not saying right at the beginning of the process. At the beginning of the process, you're probably right down in the ego and right down in lower consciousness, because the twin flame activation is actually twin flame separation. So it means that you're brought into contact of something that brings you into the acknowledgement or the understanding of higher consciousness, and then it's snatched away from you like having a rug pulled out from under you, and you're flat on your back in ego, going, where did this go? I loved it so much. That can be a person, i.e. twin flame, your twin flame, more often than not. But it's a feeling, so it could come about anyway, because some people meet their twin flame in person, some people don't. You've got to have it happen. Your twin flame process requires that you have something snatched away from you. So it's not just twin flame separation, it's probably something else. I mean, the amount of people that I've spoken to on this journey, that I've done readings for, that have had somebody else snatched away. I myself had my mother snatched away from me at 10 years old, with a cruel and untimely death, which is the way I looked at it for a long, long time through my egoic lens, you know? Cruel and untimely. Everything was wrong. Everything was very flat on my back in ego, like life is hell. I hate being here because of that. So, and then you're guided to transform that, and you go further and further and further into the transformation of ego till you're absolutely in higher consciousness, which is in a place of just feeling like absolutely at one with everything. At one is oneness. Oneness is what we are when we're not here being human. All is one, so nobody's ever gone. We're all one, really. And this is just an illusion. It's just the appearance of having an existence. So there's never anything to be depressed or sad about, although it feels a lot of the time like there is, because of the twin flame process that you're going through, which is asking you to transform that feeling in the first place and to come out the other end feeling absolutely fine with everything that is in the moment. So that question, what does it mean when you have the feeling that you're no longer interested in this twin flame story, is just you're being guided to notice that you're letting go, and maybe that you have let go. And letting go isn't a one-time event, it's a process. So it's like chipping away at a block of ice, and you might chip away all of one side of the block of ice and think that you've let go, and it might be like you're getting there and there's nothing left, and then you turn it around and there's a whole new side which is, I guess, that you've got to chip away at, which I guess is, using my own personal journey as an example, my mother dying, chipping away at that. And then we have, lots of other things coming along. It's a many-sided block that's had to be chipped away at, including my twin himself, who was one side of that block. And that letting go was an event not to be missed. I mean, a life-changing event, as much as my mother dying, actually. So, a transformational event, basically. So, what does it mean when you have the feeling that you're no longer interested in this twin flame story? The answer is that you're letting go. But also, on top of that, what does it mean to let go? What is the point of letting go? Why do we have to let go? Why are we made to let go? Why is the process about letting go? What does letting go do? What's the effect of letting go? What energetically happens when you let go? Well, you can look at it through looking at what is the opposite of letting go, is hanging on tightly. When you hang on tightly to anything, either in your feeling or in your thinking, and twin flame process, remember, it's not about what you can and can't do, it's about what you're guided to do. So you go in between the two, feeling and thinking, because you go in between the feminine and the masculine. Feeling being feminine, masculine being thinking. You go between the two, letting go of both, but never at the same time. One comes after the other and then the other comes along again, which is why it's the purge, and it's up and down, right? And it's all things, it's everything, it's emotions, it's feeling angry, feeling stressed, feeling tense, feeling worried, letting go of that as well, which is all ego, along with letting go of the feeling that comes along with that mental engagement, which is feeling sad and low and grief-stricken and worried and feeling ashamed and all those kinds of things, right? So you let go of all of it, and to arrive in a place where you're in a state of freedom. So that's how you notice it through your physical experience, how it feels to be free of worry and fear and stress, and to be free of the feelings of negativity that those bring, and to be free of the feelings that have bothered you your whole life about people and places and things, and the sentimentality and the feeling like bound to something and feeling like it's necessary even, or like you can't live without it, that kind of feeling, I can't live without that thing if I don't have it, which can only bring about a state of incompleteness and feeling low. So it's like you let go of all this stuff. And the reason that you're letting go of it is so that you can arrive in your point of attraction, which is also a twin flame process, which is where you're aligned with just feeling good. So you're to be aligned with the point of attraction, which is a vibrational, which is an energy, an energetic state, means to be free of the emotions and the flurry of emotions, and even the physical feelings of feeling emotions, and the feeling of like almost crying or feeling like you want to cry, and those will be cleared. And also the feelings of worry and stress and negativity, those will be cleared, right? So you're clearing the mind, you're clearing the emotions to arrive at equilibrium, which is a state of oneness, which is a vibrational state of oneness, which is the acceptance of everything that is, which is how we are when we're not being human. Oneness, right? Oneness is point of attraction. The acceptance of everything is how it is right now in the moment. It's the release of the past, it's the release of the future. Right? It's the what is. It's just the what is. It is what it is. It's not, it's going to be there, so it should have been that. It's just, it is what it is, and it isn't anything else, and there's nothing for me to fear or worry about or be concerned about. So being in vibrational accuracy, a state of oneness, is not being concerned about anything. So again, the question, what does it mean when I don't feel about the thinking? It's not being concerned about anything, which means you're arriving at your point of attraction, right? So you are being circumnavigated. First through the purge, you go into the emotions, out of the emotions, into the thinking, out of the thinking, back again, until you arrive at 0 point of attraction, oneness, vibrational accuracy. You're still going in and out of that. It's like a barometer going back and forth, tick tock, tick tock. So you hit it sometimes 0 point, then you're out again, then you're in again, and then you shake it all about. And it goes like that until eventually it starts to slow down and settle at what point of oneness, at vibrational accuracy. So when you get this, so that's the other answer to this question, when you get this feeling that you're no longer interested in this twin flame story, from your personal perspective, it's a clear sign, it's a clear indication that you're arriving at your point of oneness, which is your vibrational point of attraction. So just understand this as well, right? That when you have the feeling that you're no longer interested in this twin flame story, which is a sign, a symptom of letting go, and also a symptom of arriving at your point of attraction, the same thing happens. So that it's the same thing basically. The let go is arriving at point of attraction because you let go of everything, right? And you're just satisfied with the what is. It means you're in your point of attraction. And it is from the let go, really from the let go, that consciousness expands. Because as we said before, the opposite of letting go is hanging on. When you're hanging on, you're in resistance. Things are not right as they are. You're either not feeling right, or you're thinking things don't feel right, or you're feeling things don't think right, or it just doesn't seem right at all. Nothing seems right. Everything's wrong. This should be different. That should be different. I shouldn't be here. I should be over there. They should be here. That should have happened. That shouldn't have happened. It's all wrong, right? That's resistance. It means you're not aligned with your point of attraction. So the let go is the letting go of that resistance, the arriving at your point of attraction, and from there consciousness expands. When consciousness expands, higher consciousness, well, you can't expand lower consciousness, right? You can only go more into resistance. So when you're in resistance, you shut yourself off from opportunities because resistance doesn't bring anything apart from more resistance. That's why you have to be in your point of attraction to bring the opportunities along. So that's why we go through the let go, to expand consciousness. Once we're in our point of attraction, and it happens as you go in and out, because every time you hit that 0 point, you're expanding consciousness. You're going to bring yourself what you desire that's out there in your vibrational vortex. So once you're actually aligned with your point of attraction pretty much all the time, you have really expanded the opportunity to bring yourself everything that's in your vibrational vortex that you put there years ago. When you felt good, you put something there. I feel good when I'm with this person, for example. I feel good when I'm in this place. I feel good when I'm wearing this. I feel good when my hair is that colour. I feel good when I've got a little pet like this. I feel good if I'm in a fast car. I feel good on a boat and a plane. Whatever. I feel good with flowers in my garden and flowers in my hair. So it's like all these things that you've put there at your feeling good moments throughout your life, you're expanding the opportunity of bringing yourself more of those. So the more you let go, well, not the more you let go, because it's not like it's not like, oh, let me let go more, because you'll just let go as much as you're guided to let go through the guided let go, because it's twin flame process. But as you let go and then you arrive, so it's like an outward let go and an inward arrive at your point of attraction, where there's no resistance, you are just multiplying the opportunities that are out there in higher consciousness, and all those opportunities are your desires that you've already put there before, when you've thought about them before, because that's what the mind is really for. It's for creative visualization, or creating what it is that you want to bring yourself when you're in your point of attraction. But nobody uses the mind like that. Nobody is guided at school to use the mind like that. It's to, everybody's guided to shut off that that function, and to focus on things that you should worry about, things that you should be concerned about, things that you're never going to have, things you're not good at, things you should be telling yourself off about. It's just the age-old egoic mechanism of the Atlantean template, which is whacking yourself on the back with sticks and telling yourself you're not good enough. Or that your life isn't good enough, your life should be different, and and you should be unhappy because you haven't got this. You should be happy, and you should continue to grieve for years and years and years, right? Higher consciousness, just to go back to my mum, for example. When I was young, when that happened, I didn't understand that everything is always there, and that she's always there, and she hasn't gone anywhere, because I saw the physical as all there is. So I thought she's gone in the physical, that means she's gone. That means I have to grieve my whole life because I've lost her. It wasn't until years later when I started getting psychic information and seeing beyond the veil that I understood she's still there. So there's nothing to grieve about. There's no loss to feel. There's no sadness. There's no regret. And so it's a let go. It's a huge let go, right? That just expanded the opportunity to bring more love. Because all there is, if you let go of grief, is love. Right, the same with your twin flame. So if you let go of them, in the sense that you allow it just to be how it is, and for you to be feeling fine the way things are without them there, is the expansion of the opportunity for them to come in to your life again. So that's what it's all about, really. It's about the expansion of consciousness and the multiple opportunities that lie therein. So that's that question answered. And just to say as well, that's all channeled, right? So I channel. That's not my opinions. That's what they tell me. All right. So let's get on with some cards for this week. Okay. So it's the 23rd of January, 2024. It's a Tuesday. Let's see what we've got going on. Anything? What do we need to know? Queen of Swords, which is a feminine brain, and your thinking faculty. Knight of Swords, clarity coming through the feminine brain in terms of claircognizance. So that's just automatic. It's not thinking, it's just knowing. So you're going to get some kind of knowing this week. Some kind of clarity. They're showing me shards of glass. Like something that just like is a glass shattering. Like absolutely over and done with, they're saying, and clear. Maybe like looking through a cloudy orb. The psychic's ball. A cloudy one of them balls, and it just and shatters. And you don't need it anymore. So it's not looking screwing your eyes up, looking like confused into a murky lens. It's clarity coming from within, they're saying. So you don't need any outward looking anymore. And you're like, where is it? What's going on? That kind of thing. Screwing your eyes up, trying to focus too hard to find out what something is. The clarity is just going to emerge. It's going to feel like they're saying a slow let go. Oh, they show me like someone just walking into the sea and shedding all their clothes as they walk into the sea, slowly and calmly, like submerging themselves into they're like saying the beyond, the blue water. Just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. Everything's going to be fine. You can just fully let go. You completely let go. Remember, you've got an ego. So very much like we were just talking about, you can't completely let go of your ego. You just float off into Lemuria. You are here to have an ego. The ego is to be utilized, but before you can utilize it for its desired effect, right? You've got to let go of what it did before. So I feel like this week there's coming a let go of how you used to be, and an incoming, like rising up out of the water as someone new in a new way of being. So maybe you're going to go through an event this week that's going to allow you to just see more of what it is to be invested egoically. The the investment of the ego, it's like the whole world invests in this like egoic energy, which is this machination, right? This like thinking, and in that there's a lot of, it is dark energy, the ego. There's a lot of disingenuous kind of communication that goes on. You know, people say one thing one day and the next day they say another, and they tell you they said the same thing the day before. But it's like a wool pull over your eyes all over the place. So there's something here, it's going to be a disentanglement from how it is to exist in the realm with an ego, right, where people do this kind of thing. It's going to be a letting go of your urge to rise up in resistance towards other people's ego. That's what they're saying. Right, clarity. The devil, what you draw to you energetically. So remember when they said you're a vibrational oneness, your point of attraction is where you start to draw to you everything that you desire or have desired. You don't have to be desiring it currently. It's not, oh, what do I desire? Because you're thinking again, right? You already know what you desire because you thought about it whenever you thought about it, and you've probably forgotten that you even thought about it now. And that's what and that doesn't matter that you forget it. You've got to forget about it because you've got to let go, right? It's part of letting go. But the devil is desire. So, and it's two ends. The devil is 6. It's like the two ends, right? It's bringing it back together. So there's a let go coming of, I feel like it's how ego works. It's like you could have a tumultuous event going on in your daily existence where you're faced with really disingenuous, insincere people's behaviour. I feel there's talking about confusion, something being confusing, and it could be that you just get your teeth right into it and start ripping it apart with your own ego, and like, you know, they're wrong, they said this, da 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 da, but you kind of don't, or you've seen that you're doing it and you stop doing it because it doesn't get you anywhere. All it gets you is more of that you're getting your teeth into. And what you're bringing along is what you desire, not what you see right in front of you that you don't like, but what you desire that's not in front of you, right? That's vibrational right now. So that's what we've got there. Something coming along vibrationally there. Here it comes, Knight of Wands. Something coming along vibrationally that you haven't got already, they're saying. So this is something new. The Magician, manifestation. So I don't know, it's something different for everybody. What is it that you haven't, you don't have to think about it. You'll know it when it arrives. You'll be like, oh God, I always wanted that. You know, it could be a stripy pair of socks. I don't know. It could be something, you know, that just arrives and you're like, that's exactly what I've always wanted. In fact, it will be, but it's going to be different for everybody. So is it going to be the twin flame? No, because consciousness expands in multiple directions. Opportunities come from all over. So when it's not the twin, this is what people get tangled up in a lot of the time. When they expand into higher consciousness and opportunities open up, that means things to come towards them. And something does come towards them, and it's something they've always wanted, but they don't notice it, or they disregard it because it's not the twin. So they're always just looking out for the twin to come along. And when the twin doesn't come along, they're always disappointed because it's not the twin. But you should always be grateful of the opportunities that come along that present themselves through the expansion of your point of attraction. And acknowledge, look what's come along. Even if it is just a pair of socks. Look what's come along. That's more of what I want. If it's more of what you want, you're in your point of attraction. Sooner or later, your twin will come along. But first of all, you bring the small stuff and then you bring the big stuff, right? And it's all going to come along. And it might all come at once. So who knows? You might get the socks and your twin coming along. Let's go here. The star, right, which is healing. So it's like that bath they're talking about, like walking into the sea. So that healing is the shedding and the letting go. And then the arising out again and being reborn. You know, like they baptize people, don't they? And they're reborn in the name of God. They are reborn as vibration then, because God is vibration, is what we are. So they're just reborn as themselves again, basically. So you're being reborn this week somehow. Through the disregarding of your ego, they're saying. You will disregard your own ego somehow. which is your own, the ego's ability to take you over and try and make you think that everything is wrong. Because that's not, everything is always the way it should be. It's always exactly the way it should be. It's just what you should see in what's going on and not what you should think about what's going on. Right? You should just notice, just observe the ego, not allow it to take you over and turn you into like the raging beast that it wants you to become. Dark to light, 5 of Swords. So that's the ending of a battle inside of you, coming along. And energy is always coming along. That's why we always say coming along, because it manifests through you. And it's manifests through you as who you are. You are both. You are dark and light, masculine, feminine, higher, lower. Not just one thing. You are everything. So what manifests through you is to be observed. And if you just observe it, you will shed the dark and you will become the light through just observation, the principle of observation. Not through trying to change or forcing change, because that can't happen. Through the let go and the release. Now, 4 of Pentacles. As soon as now, really. I mean, I feel this huge vortex opening up inside me right now of higher consciousness. This morning I went through a very tumultuous event where, I was gnashing of teeth. I was in gnashing of teeth spill in terms of, the experience, what I was experiencing through other people in this physical form. It's gone now. Process, Hanged Man. So it's about the process of manifestation. You can't bring in the light without clearing out the dark. So, but it's not your responsibility to change other people or who they may be showing themselves as to you. They are showing themselves as whatever they are to you, for you to become whatever you are to become, not for you to focus on them. So you have to let go of them. That's anybody. That's the person in the post office or serving you in the shop, or walking down the street or waiting at the bus stop. It's everybody. You've got to let go of them all and what they are to you until they're nothing to you. You have to shed it all. We've got underneath love, King of Cups, that's mastery of love, which is let go again, because love doesn't have to say it loves anything. It just has to let go. Love is not judging people, right? It's not leaving bad reviews on Trustpilot. It's just letting it go. Things like that. It's just saying, oh, well, it is what it is, and letting it go. Right? It's not trying to fix things or change things. It's acceptance of everything that is. Because maybe there's a higher purpose around everything that's going on. And maybe that person that shows up in your life and is one thing to you is going to be completely different to somebody else. Because it's what you need at the time you're being given it to transform dark to light from inside yourself. So we've got that going on. I'll put one more out on all of these. Right. Magician, 9 of Wands, which is the wounded warrior. So it's the rising up of the wounded warrior, basically. So it's the rising of the masculine. So everything that you're going through is about healing the masculine template, which is healing the ego, which is healing your twin, because your twin is the masculine. So it's about them coming back into position of arising, being reborn, arriving at their point of attraction, their state of oneness, their feeling of let go, their understanding everything just is what it is. There's no deliberation on what's gone before, no procrastination of what might come, no counterintuitive activity inside the brain, just acceptance of themselves and what is and what's gone and what might come. And a free-for-all open state of abundance where they are expanding into multiple opportunities of their own. This kind of thing is like somebody that you haven't seen for ages and you don't know where they are, and you don't know that they could possibly know where you are. Maybe phone numbers have been changed and email addresses have been changed and physical addresses have been changed, and there's no connection anymore between other people or anything, right? But things happen the way they're going to happen to bring people back together when it's time for it to happen. So all of that doesn't matter, or I should say none of that matters, because when it's time for them to come back, they will find the way for them to come back will be made known to them. It will be presented to them. It will be a really easy transaction to make. So this is that kind of energy, because it's about the expansion of opportunities, right? Multiple opportunities presenting themselves. Perhaps they'll be surfing the net about something completely different and your photo pops up on Google Images, or an old picture of you somewhere, doing something, or there's a link to something else that's got a link to something else that's got a link to something else that's got a link to somewhere else that's got another picture of you, or a phone number of someone that knows you, or you know what I mean. There's a whole database out there for this connections to be made and people to come back. Love expands opportunities, and the King of Swords coming out, and the King of Hearts, the King of Cups underneath. So it's the mind of the masculine coming out on the heart of the masculine. So expansion through the heart and the mind is what we're hitting this week. And that can only mean more to come, right? So you start expanding through the heart and mind through clarity and love. So it's like opportunities coming in abundance. The Emperor returns coming on your mind. I had a funny thing go on last night in bed because I couldn't sleep last night. I never think about my twin anymore. I haven't for months and months and months. I don't think about him, but I did. And that's the honest truth. I'm not just saying I don't think about him anymore. And last night I did, of my own free will, because I wanted to, and I investigated thoughts and feelings. And I won't go into any more depth than that, but it's just what happened. So that's just interesting, right? Interesting. See? Interest. Interesting. So maybe there's some interest arising in doing that, in the twin thinking about me, or about you, your twin thinking about you. So let's go here, process the Hanged Man. And we've got sleep there. So during sleep, something going on? Anyone else have that? Or maybe you're going to have it this week as well. Something going on whilst you're, quite often they do wake you up in the middle of the night to make you do some work, I've noticed, on this twin flame process. The Devil, transformation, transforming what you bring to yourself. Five of Swords, homecoming and celebrations and weddings. And the Four of Wands. Knight of Swords, rebirth, the Empress, clarity, rebirth. Like they said, it's like the cool, clear waters of clarity that you're walking into. A huge let go, a pleasant let go, not those horrific let goes, the thrashing around let goes. This is a genteel let go. Four of Pentacles, now moment, feminine vibration, Queen of Wands, rising into your vibration of clarity, of oneness, of creativity. Three, she's a three, creativity. And also birth, three, both threes there. Knight of Wands, separation, movement on separation, that's Five of Pentacles. And the Star, and an ending, Ten of Swords, which is death of the ego. So it's, the death of the ego is like a momentous play. It's like it comes in like act after act after act after act after act. It's like Julius Caesar being stabbed by everyone in the what was it called, in not the Colosseum, the I don't know what it was called, the ring. being stabbed by multiple times. The death of the ego comes over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's not a one-time event. But it does feel like that glass ball shattering, which is multiple shards, right? Which is like a huge shattering of the ego, basically. And the clarity that's coming, which is really deep. Those waters are deep, those healing waters. And then the expansion of all that is beyond that. So when this ego shatters, it's like the ego is a barrier to the opportunities of higher consciousness. But shattered ego means ample opportunity to bring what comes from beyond ego. So what comes from beyond ego? Higher consciousness is source. Source is twin flame process. So it's the multiple opportunities that come from source, and there's no barrier to it somehow, because the ego is being shattered. So I do feel a tumultuous event which is going to happen. That's going to be maybe feel really bad somehow, because this as well, this energy moving on, this is a really negative scenario in the Five of Pentacles. This is what you don't get, right? This is like the card, it's like a physical card, and it's separation from source, and it's like everything bleak, poverty, disagreement, disharmony, disconnection, right? It's like nothing being right. This is a card where nothing's right. And it's like energy moving through that situation. So it might be like a situation with like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that are not right in one situation, that you're like, I can't believe the state of this situation and how many things are wrong in this that I am dealing with here in this physical life. And then the clarity, because I'm dismantling the dark energy, so of course it's going to be multiple opportunities for me to disregard what's being said, done, asking me to feel, asking me to think, asking me to unhook from feeling good. Because when the dark energy comes along, that's what it does. Asks you to unhook from your feeling good. Asks you to look at yourself in shame. Asks you to look at yourself and blame yourself. That's what it does. So that's going to come along, and you're not. And you're not going to attack it either. You're just going to let it go. And it's just going to be walking away. Walking back to happiness. That's a song, actually. And then just said walking into the flames as well. So it's like flames of transformation and coming out again. Oh, look, and that's just because I was just seeing that in my head, funnily enough, the Two of Wands. It's like a new road opening up. So flames, Queen of Wands, walking into the flames, the phoenix rising up again, burnt to a cinder, transformed, rising up and walking forward again, serene and regal like a queen, walking through life, attached to the point of attraction, not being dragged off point of attraction by anybody else. Or, maybe it can, but not for long, right? Not for long. Not enough that you're not springing out of there and staying out of there on the sidelines. Maybe you like a little bit like Zebedee, just getting like a little bit bounced away from your point of attraction, but not losing your attachment to your point of attraction, and bouncing right back in again, and having that power in your, they just said mainframe, so that's the power of you, right? I will not be taken away from my point of attraction for any longer than is necessary for whatever it is I'm being asked to be drawn away from my point of attraction for. In some cases you don't even know what it's for. It's transformation of dark to light. That's what it's for. Right, I'm going to go. Lots of love. They won't be doing many readings for the next couple of weeks because I've got something going on. But I'll do one when I can. Lots of love. Bye.